Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the 9 p.m. news telecast of the prestigious channel of Sri Lanka. I'm Charita Minupuraraji.
And I'm Hesha Inali. Let's have the headlines first. "55 indictments against Kehelio and other suspects regarding money laundering and the purchase of substandard medicines." UN Human Rights High Commissioner leaves Sri Lanka paying attention to a host of areas. Export earnings of this country raised to $6.9 billion during the first 5 months of the year. Container congestion at the harbour to be over in 2 days, according to Customs. Steps taken to import 40,000 metric tons of rice as a substitute to kiri sambar. Bus fares reduced by 2.5%. USA and Iran get ready for talks.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top story. The United Nations High Commissioner on Human Rights Volker Turk says that he will support the program implemented by President Anurukumar Dissanayake and his government to consolidate national unity and reconciliation and to safeguard human rights in Sri Lanka. He made this observation when he met President Anurukumar Dissanayake in the afternoon today. The meeting was held at the President's office. The High Commissioner, appreciating the new political and social transformation taking place in Sri Lanka at present, and also pointed out that the people of North and South of the country have placed strong trust in the present President and the government. He added that he was able to get first-hand information about the transformation taking place in the country during his tour. The UN High Commissioner stressed that he is confident of the expectation of all the people of the country for a better future.
And in the meantime, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk has commended the Sri Lankan government's current efforts to protect human rights and to move away from the ethnic divisions. During his visit to Sri Lanka, the High Commissioner met today with the leaders of the National People's Power at the headquarters of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna. He expressed confidence in the government's reform process, particularly in areas such as amending the Prevention of Terrorism Act and addressing the issue of missing persons. National People's Power representatives said that the government is taking steps to prevent future human rights violations and the ethnic tensions. They were also briefed on future actions planned by the government to investigate disappearances and promote unity as a single Sri Lankan nation. Among those present were JVP General Secretary Tilvin Silva, NPP General Secretary Dr. Nihala Besika, government ministers and international human rights delegates. Meanwhile, at the end of his Sri Lankan visit, the High Commissioner met with Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism, Mr. Vijitha Herath. During the meeting, he presented several observations, including the need to further strengthen state mechanisms investigating enforced disappearances and truth-seeking processes, bridging the gap between the public and the government institutions, and ensuring clarity in the government's position on counter-terrorism legislation. He also acknowledged the government's supports in these areas and raised the issue of land releases in the northern province.
Above all, I want to acknowledge with deep gratitude the government's cooperation for this visit. Just over an hour ago, I met with the President, and earlier in my visit with the Prime Minister, as well as other ministers and political party leaders and parliamentarians from across the political spectrum. Our discussions showed a genuine openness to address complex issues. Popular demands arising from the 2022 Aragalia protests called for action on accountability for corruption and economic mismanagement, and I'm encouraged by the work the government is doing in this regard, and I hope that this wave of hope and change carries forward.
And meanwhile, the Attorney General has filed indictments against 12 respondents, including former Health Minister Kehalia Rambukvella, regarding the incident of purchasing substandard antibody vaccines before a bench of 3 judges of the High Court. The Attorney General had previously requested the Chief Justice to name a bench of 3 judges to investigate regarding the case of having importance to the general public. Accordingly, the Chief Justice has named a 3 bench of judges, including High Court judges Mahesh Veeraman, Pradeep Aberatna and Amali Ranavira. The suspects are facing 30 allegations regarding the supply of 6,195 vials of non-medical contents along with human immunoglobulin and rituximab medicine to the Medical Supplies Division of the Ministry of Health, and inquiring a loss of 144.4 million rupees to the Republic of Sri Lanka for criminal usage. The Bribery Commission today filed indictments against former Minister Kehalia Rambukvella, his wife, 3 daughters and son-in-law under the Anti-Money Laundering Act today at the Colombo High Court. These indictments have been filed under 43 allegations. The Mount Lavinia Magistrates Court today ordered to further imprison former Minister Dumindra Dissanayake until the 7th of next month. He has been imprisoned regarding a gold-plated firearm recovered from a residence of Havelock City housing complex. Meanwhile, the court ordered to release the 3rd suspect on bail, who was taken into custody and imprisoned regarding this incident. The Colombo Magistrate Court also ordered to imprison former Secretary of the Ministry of Health Janaka Sri Chandragupta until the 8th of July, who was taken into custody regarding an incident of accumulating assets illegally. He has been alleged of constructing an image at a Buddhist temple at Pinwatta area in Panadura, accumulating of an amount of 35 million rupees and misuse of that amount. In addition, it has been revealed during investigations that he has tried to show the price of a land purchased at a cost of 9.2 million rupees fraudulently as 4 million rupees. The Colombo High Court has ordered to take up the case against 4 persons, including former Governor of the Central Bank Ajit Nivat Kabral, on the 10th of October. The case has been filed by Commission to investigate allegations on bribery or corruption.
In the meantime, with the ceasefire between Israel and Iran continuing to hold, US President Donald Trump has stated that officials from both the United States and Iran are expected to engage in discussions next week. Speaking during the NATO summit, President Trump suggested that the upcoming talks could potentially lead to a formal agreement between the 2 nations. However, reports indicate that Iran has not yet officially confirmed its participation in the proposed negotiations. Meanwhile, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei released his first video message following the ceasefire with Israel. In it, he dismissed the recent US airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, claiming that the attacks failed to achieve any significant results. He asserted that Iran has proved its strength by withstanding what he described as a major blow from the United States, and US intelligence agencies, however, have reported otherwise. The CIA Director John Ratcliffe confirmed that 3 of Iran's nuclear facilities sustained severe damage in the recent US strikes, and he further stated that the attacks had significantly disrupted Iran's nuclear program.
And meanwhile, the Ambassador of Iran met with the Minister of Foreign Affairs Vijay Herath to provide an update on the latest developments in the region. According to a statement released following the meeting, the Minister of Foreign Affairs Vijay Herath welcomed the announcement of a ceasefire and emphasized the importance of sustained diplomatic engagement to promote peace and sustainability. Minister Vijay Herath noted that any further escalation could have serious and wide-ranging consequences not only for the region but also countries like Sri Lanka. During the discussion, the officials also informed the Iranian ambassador about the steps taken by the government of Sri Lanka to ensure the safety and well-being of Sri Lankan nationals currently residing in Iran, given the ongoing situation. A press briefing was held today at the residence of Iranian ambassador, where journalists were briefed on the current situation surrounding the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran.
We had very good cooperation with Foreign Ministry of Sri Lanka, and we have gotten a very good welcoming from Ministry of Foreign Affairs about solving security problems of Sri Lankan nationals in Iran, and we did good cooperation to transfer them to safe place in other countries, and also we had very good cooperation with the ministry to temporarily transfer the embassy of Sri Lanka in Iran to one of the safe cities in north part of Iran. Yeah, we had very good cooperation.
And meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasuriya, who is on an official visit to Canada, participated in the Commonwealth Learning Board of Governors meeting recently. She has also taken part in the meeting organized by the Sri Lankans living in Canada. The meeting with Canadian Sri Lankans was held in Survey in British Columbia State. A large number of Sri Lankans were present at this occasion.
Moving on, the ministerial subcommittee appointed to investigate effects to the economy of this country due to the Middle East crisis met last evening with the participation of Minister Vijitha Herath. Special attention of the subcommittee was focused on the behavior of import-export market in Sri Lanka, arrival of foreign tourists, foreign employment industry and effect on foreign reserves in the face of changing global scenario. It has also been discussed regarding immediate action to be taken concerning all areas that can be affected after closely studying the war situation in the Middle East. Discussions were also held in respect of crude oil, gas and coal stocks available and the orders placed for the coming few months at the subcommittee meeting. Accordingly, although there is no risk at present in the import of oil and gas, it has been decided to search for optional suppliers at a preparation in advance. Agreements has also been reached to maintain the other essential items imported from the region and to find out optional suppliers as a reparation in advance to address obstacles that might occur in the supplies. Attention was also paid to the possibility of any drawbacks that may occur regarding the commodities exported to the Middle East region from this country. The subcommittee advised to take necessary steps immediately to open up optional market opportunities. For this purpose, it has also been agreed to closely observe the safety of Sri Lankans employed in the Middle East and to bring them back in case the war situation escalates.
Food Policies and Food Security Committee has decided to import 40,000 metric tons of substitute rice for Kiri Samba rice. This decision has been taken based on the recommendations made by Consumer Affairs Authority due to the non-availability of sufficient rice stocks in the country. Accordingly, 5,000 metric tons of rice will be imported through state institutions, while the remaining will be brought in through the private sector. The Food Policies and Food Security Committee met yesterday at the President's office under the patronage of Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe to take policy decisions on confirming the food security in the country. Considering the existing situation in the market, the decision was taken to import substitutes for Kiri Samba. The committee has also decided to purchase continuously a kilo of Kiri Samba paddy per 120 rupees through the Paddy Marketing Board and the Santosa as a measure to protect local farmers. Providing storage facilities of maize needed to manufacture triposha, importing of rice or broken rice or alternative materials for producing beer and animal food were also discussed. They also paid attention on import of fertilizer and securing the existing stocks. Prime Minister's Secretary Pradeep Samputantri, Additional Secretary to the President Kapila Janaka Bandara and parliamentarians were present at this discussion.
And on a similar topic, Sri Lanka's Salt Manufacturers Association says that salt will be issued under maximum retail price limits in order to decrease the price of salt at the market. This decision has been taken under an agreement made with the Consumer Affairs Authority. They informed that due to the government's lifting of import restrictions, ample stocks of salt have been received. Therefore, edible salt is issued subjected to maximum retail price limits, and accordingly, a kilogram of crystal salt is issued at 180 rupees, a kilo of table salt at is 250 rupees, and 400 grams table salt packet is 120 rupees. Lanka Salt Manufacturers Association says, however, it will take a few days to distribute the salt packets under the reduced price.
And meanwhile, the export income of the country has increased up to $6.9 billion during the first 5 months of the year. It is a 7.14% growth compared to the same period last year. During the month of May, the export income of trade goods and services is $1,386 billion. This is 6.35% growth in comparison to May last year. Export income of trade goods from January to May this year is $1,344 million. That is 5.46% growth when compared to the same period last year. The export of services has increased by 13.2% during the first 5 months of this year. That reflects the growth of the economy based on knowledge.
Media spokesman of the Sri Lanka Customs, ChannelEye Rupavahini, says that the congestion of containers at the Colombo harbour can be eased within 2 more days. He made these comments at a media briefing held today in Colombo. Media spokesman of the Sri Lanka Customs, ChannelEye Rupavahini, said that normally 1,200 containers are received a day. However, the number increased up to 2,500 a day last week. This was mainly due to the arrival of a large number of salt containers. A certain delay occurred in the Colombo harbour when releasing the salt containers within a very short period. It takes several days to check the quality of imported salt through a process by the Standardization Institute. Due to this process, the custom is unable to release the salt containers at once.
Minister Ananda Vijayapala says that a continuous program will be implemented against the drug banners. The minister made this observation participating in the function on the International Day of Drug Abuse and Illegal Trafficking today. A program organized in this regard was held at the Independence Square today with the participation of a group of parliamentarians and ministers. The program was organized by the National Dangerous Drug Control Board. A large number of representatives joined the occasion representing school children, voluntary organizations and health sectors. Minister Ananda Vijayapala said that raising public awareness alone is not enough in the fight against drug addiction. He emphasized that the entire population need to be actively involved in this effort. The minister stated that it is essential to build a strong and empowered society to confront the threat posed by drugs. He explained that the government has already launched a national program aimed at strengthening the government and that the initiative being introduced now marks the starting point of that campaign. Minister Vijayapala further added that under the theme of creating a prosperous country and a beautiful life, the government has pledged to build a drug-free nation and remains firmly committed to the goal. He assured that the government has no intention of abandoning this program.
The National Transport Commission says that the bus fares are to be reduced by 2.5% in the future. Director General of the Commission, Nayam Wijayawardena, says, however, the minimum fare will not be reduced. Director General of the Commission, Nayam Wijayawardena, said that the Transport Commission usually measures the bus fares annually on the 30th of June. Accordingly, 2.5% reduction can be made this year, and then the minister decided to implement the 2.5% reduction considering the fuel price revision held at the beginning of the month, and the bus fares will be reduced in a future date. The minimum fare remains the same and the other fares will be reduced accordingly. The maximum bus fare goes down by 54 rupees, and this fare revision is applicable to SLTB and private buses and other services including express freight, luxury and normal services.
මේක අඩුවීමක් වුණාට ඒක ජනතාවට ගියේ නැහැ. ඒකත් සලකා බලලා තමයි මේ අවස්ථාවේදී මිල අඩු කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ලංගම පුද්ගලිකාංශයේ බස් රථ, අධිවේගී මාර්ගයේ බස් රථ සඳහා සාමාන්‍ය සේවා, සුඛෝපභෝගී සේවා, අතිසුඛෝපභෝගී සේවා සියලුම බස් රථවල බස් ගාස්තු අඩුවීම ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
Meanwhile, a discussion on bus fare revision was held between the subject minister Bimal Ratnayaka and representatives of bus associations at the Transport Ministry in Battaramulla today. The chairman of the Private Bus Owners Association, Gamana Vijayaratna, expressed his views to the media. Chairman of the Private Bus Owners Association, Gamana Vijayaratna, said that the price of diesel has gone down by 1.2%. The private bus owners are bound to pass the benefit to the commuters.
Moving ahead with more local stories, the examination department says that the GCE Advanced Level Examination will commence from the 10th of November until the 5th December. Commissioner General of Examinations AKS Indika Kumari Dinege says that applications for the examination are called online from today to the 21st of next month. Applications cannot be sent after 12 midnight on the 21st of July. Issuing a communique, the Minister of Commissioner General says that the deadline will not be extended at any circumstance. School children should apply for the exam through their principals. Private candidates personally send their applications online following the given guidelines. Private candidates should use their national identity card to apply for the exam. Applications should be forwarded correctly following the guidelines given at the website www.doenets.lk or www.onlineexams.gov.lk. Further information can be obtained by dialing 0112 784 208, 0112 784 537, 0112 785 922 or hotline 1911.
The National People's Power has established power in 213 local government institutions at present. Meanwhile, the inaugural meeting of the Colombo Municipal Council was held today under the patronage of Mayor Rai Kali Baltasar. Commencing the meeting, Mayor Rai Kali Baltasar made a special statement on the future vision of the Colombo Municipal Council, and later Deputy Mayor Hemanta Kumara expressed his views. The voting for electing chairman of the Horana Urban Council was held today. Majority of the councillors agreed to a whole secret ballot. However, some councillors of the common opposition left the meeting expressing their opposition for a secret vote. Then the secret ballot commenced. Accordingly, Anil Indika of the National People's Power was elected as the chairman, receiving 7 votes. Samaja Vasika Tilakaratna of the NPP was unanimously elected as the vice chairman. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that in the recent local government elections, the majority of voters in the Horana Urban Council had given their support to the National People's Power Party. He stated that out of 13 council members, 6 were elected from the National People's Power, while the remaining seats were divided among opposition parties and independent groups. Minister Jayatissa noted that despite efforts by the opposition to establish control of the council, they were unsuccessful. He emphasized that the National People's Power, respecting the will of the people, has now assumed authority in the council, and he also added that their responsibility is to develop Horana Urban Council and work towards the progress of the Horana area. The voting to elect the chairman of the Bulat Sinhala Pradesh Sabha was held under the patronage of Local Government Commissioner Sarangika Jayasundara today. Under the secret ballot held, 13 councillors voted for Sanjeeva Pushpakumara of the National People's Power, and accordingly, he was elected to the post with majority of votes. Padma Kumara Dasnaika of the NPP was elected as the deputy chairman by a secret vote. ND Kapila Nakhandala of Samagi Jana Balaveke was elected as the new chairman of the Amagambur Pradeshia Sabha by an open vote. Under a secret vote, Harindra Upagedara of NPP was elected as the vice chairman, and the meeting was held under the patronage of Local Government Commissioner of the Central Province, Chamila Atpattu. Navalage Ajit Kumara of the Samagi Jana Balaveke was elected as the chairman of the Nivitigala Pradeshia Sabha today with 15 votes. Dilshan Gunaratna of Podujana Peramuna was elected as the vice chairman. The inaugural meeting of the Hatton Dik Oya Urban Council was held today under the patronage of Local Government Commissioner of the Central Province, and then Asoka Karunaratna of the National People's Power was elected as the chairman by an open vote. Perumal Surendran of the Ceylon Workers' Congress became the vice chairman.
And meanwhile, the Ceylon Aeronautical company that repair and maintain foreign aircraft in Sri Lanka has a big demand throughout the globe. This company is situated at the Free Trade Zone at Koggala in Goa. The Ceylon Aeronautical Company is 100% comprised with local investors and aircraft engineers. The company is popular for repairing light aircraft that are used in many countries. Many airlines obtain the service of this company. More airlines and aviation companies in the US, Canada, Papua New Guinea, Dubai and Nepal obtain the services of this company. In addition, the company is ready to support the Sri Lankan citizens if they need to study aircraft repairing and maintenance. Ceylon Aeronautical Company can be introduced as a gigantic project that draws foreign exchange to Sri Lanka through the aircraft engineering sector.
In the meantime, 50% of the joint water and water resources management project implemented by the Ministry of Irrigation under the World Bank loans has been completed by now. Under this, 25 main tanks and canals and 760 small canals have been developed. The project, which commenced in April 2021, will be completed in October 2026 in 5 years. International Development Institution and the government of Sri Lanka will spend an amount of $70 million for this project. 75 main tanks and canals will be developed under the project, and development activities of 25 out of them has been completed by now, and another 50 is being developed at present. Apart from renovating tanks, canals will be developed with the help of farmers' organizations to supply water to the farmers. The development of canals have been completed to provide the water to the farmers by Bathalagoda Hiriyala tank under this, and this will supply water to 6,400 acres of land. Meanwhile, the canal constructed to provide the water to Bathalagoda tank from Daduroya is also expected to be renovated. Accordingly, the 3-kilometer long canal will be developed after a gap of 100 years. According to the project director Lalit Vijayaratna, the remaining 50% of the project is expected to be completed shortly.
Stay tuned with more local news after this break.
Studio Sri Lanka.
Welcome back with more local stories. Deputy Minister of Digital Economy Engineer Eranga Veeraratna says that it has been planned to function the Starlink satellite service throughout the island before the end of this month. He made these comments at a ceremony held in Colombo yesterday. Deputy Minister of Digital Economy Engineer Eranga Veeraratna said that the service operates via satellites and they have obtained the necessary license to provide it. He added that they have already supplied the required services for customs clearance. Currently, a pilot project is underway involving about 10 devices, with mission rollouts being conducted among 10 different customers. He mentioned that these users need to display dashboards to the government's Defence Ministry department will support this initiative.
And in the meantime, Minister K.D. Lalkantha and several others today inspected the lands and crops at Udaperua in Bandarawila that had negative impact through the Umaya multipurpose project. Ministers Dr. Dhammika Patabandi, Kumara Jayakodi and Samantha Vidyaratna also joined this tour, and they also inspected the new lands given to the people victimized by this project. Minister K.D. Lalkantha said that they visited the undertaken by Cabinet subcommittee was aimed at directly engaging with the public and preparing a joint cabinet paper to address these pressing issues faced by the people. He said it was the responsibility of the cabinet to resolve these concerns through a unified approach. He explained that the observation visit was part of the process, and the minister also noted that the project in question had been implemented without a proper scientific foundation, and as a result the local population continues to suffer from its negative consequences. While acknowledging that the project may have some potential benefits, he emphasized that the local communities are currently experiencing significant hardship and disruption to their daily lives due to this impact. A meeting was held at the Bandarawila Urban Council premises with the participation of victimized people at the Bandarawila Valimada Haliyala, Alla and Haputale Divisional Secretariat areas under the patronage of the ministers. They also accepted grievances of the people in the area.
And meanwhile, a number of problems have been surfaced regarding an old mansion situated at Kallugalavatta Ballaketuwa in Alla. Parliamentarian Kitsana Selvaraj along with a group of others conducted an observation tour in the area in order to look into this matter. This mansion is more than 100 years old and a place tourist attraction. A case is also being taken up in the court regarding the situation of forcefully acquiring a large number of lands with tourist attraction and tea estates around the state mansion by former parliamentarian Senthil Thondaman. Parliamentarian Kidnan Selvaraj told media that the mansion will be used to promote tourism in a manner useful to the people after the announcement of the court order. Chairman of the Alla Pradesh Sabha, Venura Malinda, also joined this occasion. Parliamentarian Kidnan Selvaraj said that Central Tournament mediated in this matter those days legal action will be taken if they enter illegally again. They will not be allowed to repeat the same action. It has also been told to the public that this will be safeguarded and developed for national development of the country in the future until the court procedure is over.
අපි මේක පාවිච්චි කරනවා කියලා රටේ ජනතාවට
Parliamentarian Chandana Sooriyarach revealed to the media a fraud regarding about 40 acres of land said to be occurred during the previous governments. Parliamentarian Chandana Sooriyarach said that a request has been made to set aside 40 acres of land for agricultural purposes to former Minister P. Dayaratne, which belonged to the Land Reforms Commission in 1987. As per that request, the Land Reforms Commission had given 40 acres of land to P. Dayaratne for agricultural purposes. He added that according to his knowledge, if a land belonging to the Land Reforms Commission is given for agricultural purposes, it has to be developed by the persons concerned for agricultural purposes only. Agricultural productivity and cultivation has to be carried out in that particular plot of land. The Land Reforms Commission has presented an idea during the discussions held yesterday that those 40 acres of land which was acquired through misguidance was not at all used for agricultural purposes. According to later reports, it has been revealed that former UNP Minister P. Dayaratne has disbursed the lands among his children after 2019. The children of P. Dayaratne later on converted into an income earning with the help of private auctioneers. He further said that there are people who do not possess even an inch of land, but no land is available to be distributed among them. When the people were faced with such a situation, it has been revealed that former governments distributed government lands among politicians and their relatives and friends. The politicians have acquired government lands in many indirect ways and had given them to their children and relatives as their own inheritance. It is expected that necessary action will be taken after further investigations in this regard, as he pointed out. Welcome back with your sports update. And Sri Lanka were 290 for the loss of 2 wickets in their first innings at the end of the second day's play. In the second test match between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, the match is being played at SSC grounds in Colombo. At the end of the first day's play, Bangladesh were 220 for the loss of 8 wickets in their first innings. Asita Fernando was able to capture the wicket of Naeem Hassan, who has on 25 at the first wicket. Edabout Hussain scored 8 runs. Bangladesh's first innings was restricted to 247 runs all out. In bowling, Asita Fernando and Sonal Dinusha shared 3 wickets each. Pathum Nishanka and Lahiru Udara opened the first innings for Sri Lanka and made a valuable contribution of 88 runs for the first wicket. Lahiru Udara scored 40 runs and Pathum Nishanka with Dinesh Chandimal added 194 runs for the second wicket. Chandimal scored 34th half-century in his test career when he scored 93 runs. Pathum Nishanka was able to notch up his 4th century in test cricket. At the end of day's play, he was not out on 146 along with Prabhat Jayasuriya, who was not out on 5 runs. Sri Lanka is leading Bangladesh by 43 runs in their first innings.
And on to West Indies versus Australia first test match day 1. The opening day of the first test match between West Indies and Australia saw fast bowlers dominated as 14 wickets fell at the Kensington Oval. And after electing to bat first, Australia bowled out for just 180 with Travis Head at the lone standout, scoring a gritty 59. The West Indies in reply were 57 for 4 at stumps, trailing 123. Day 1 summary: Australia 180 all out, West Indies 57 upon 4 at stumps, and West Indies trail by 123 runs.
And with that sports update, we'll be wrapping up tonight news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita signing with Hesha. Stay safe and good night.